First things first, you talked about the motivation. You said, I need motivation to not be fat and lazy. Motivation isn't real. So you're talking about a fallacy. Motivation isn't a real thing. Motivation is extremely fleeting. 21, you should be strong as an ox. At 21, I could split the earth's core with my bare hands. Fucking, you're 21 years old, you have unlimited energy. You should have a six-pack on fucking accident at 21.
Did you
Bro, if you were 35, you wouldn't be fat. At 21, yes, you are fat. You're out of shape for a 21-year-old.
I am?
You're out of shape, young man. You're 21 years old. You have all the time in the world. I bet you're making a bunch of money on the internet. I bet you're loaded as well. You're rich from this shit. Yeah, so you ain't gonna go to fucking work. And you ain't doing any push-ups? Gee. Motivation is not a real thing. You are never gonna be permanently motivated to do things that you don't want to do.
So then, Andrew, how do I do it? Like, how do I do it?
People who train every day don't want to train every day. They are not motivated to train every day. They are something else. Motivation is the wrong word. They are not motivated. They are disciplined.
Andrew,
disciplined.
Are there ever days where you don't feel like working out or you don't feel like doing work?
Every fucking day, I don't feel like doing things that I still do. It's called discipline. It's called being a man. It's not about feeling like doing it. If you only do things you feel like doing, you know what you end up doing?
What?
You end up sitting around with a belly, drinking soya fucking latte bullshit. That's what you end up doing if you only do what you feel like doing. You have to wake up and say, I don't feel like training, but I must train. I will only drink water. I will watch Tate speech. Go to CobraTate.com, join HU. I will stop being a loser. I will follow the word of Tate.
I have a question.
That's what you need to do.
Can I get
Whether it's hard, you need to do what you're supposed to do, not what you feel like fucking doing.
Okay.
That's the difference between a man and a fucking child. You do not become a man doing what you feel like doing. You become a man doing what you're supposed to fucking do. The men on the Titanic didn't feel like dying that day. It's your duty.
Nope.
It is your duty to not be a fat piece of shit.
Okay.
But you fucking it up because of a lack of motivation.
Nah, bro, what the fuck? You're dead serious.
Am I laughing? No. Do you see any dice? Do you see any dice?
No.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because this isn't a fucking game, young man. I'm deadly fucking serious. If you were my son, I would walk into your bedroom and beat the living fuck out of you. In the real world, you need some real lessons, young man. Yeah, so I'm an old man, right? You don't get anywhere in life without discipline. You don't get to just play video games and get rich. None of that's real, right? You have to work your ass off before the internet.
Right.
You have to turn up on time, look good, be sharp, be funny, be smart, remember things, charismatic.
Right.
You got to work hard than everyone else. I come from the era of discipline. I come from the old school ways. So you're in a world now where you can just, without discipline, stumble your way to success. Congratulations. But truthfully, to be truly a man, the absolute true marker of a man is his ability to do the things he doesn't feel like doing.
Right, which is like I said, I gotta just get up and do it sometimes. I gotta make sure that I'm becoming the best version of myself by pushing myself no matter what. Like you just said, there's days where you don't feel like doing shit and you just do it no matter what because you're a man.
Well, what else is a man good for if you don't do things you're not supposed to do? If you only sit around and do what you feel.
You're right. What's the point of being a man?
No, but what would that make you if you sit around and only do what you feel like doing? What would that make you?
I don't know what.
Think about it.
Okay, let me think about it for a second. If you would only sit around and a pussy.
Close. They have a pussy.
Oh, I know.
But the point is, emotionally led creatures are females are generally emotionally led. When they're happy, they're happy. When they're sad, right? Yeah. A man goes, it doesn't matter if I'm happy or sad, I will still go and do X. That is my job. It is my duty as a man to do X. That's what I'm going to do. If you're going to doubt yourself, I mean, I understand why a lot of people doubt themselves. A lot of people doubt themselves because they're incompetent. You'd have to be a megalomaniac to not doubt yourself if you're an incompetent individual, right? If you're an idiot or you're crap or you're shit at things, of course you're going to doubt yourself because you should, because you fail all the time. The only way you're going to start to not doubt yourself is if you show some competence, if you grow into a competent individual and perpetually succeed, as I do. I don't doubt myself because I never fail. So why would I doubt myself when I've never failed? Whereas if all I did was fail all of the time, of course I'm going to doubt myself. So your mentality is heavily linked to your reality. And the fact that most people have such weak mindsets comes from the fact that they have a weak life, a weak body, a weak social circle, a weak network, a weak bank account, a weak relationship, and then their mind is weak. Well, of course. Whereas if you had a group of soldiers around you, men who were dedicated, who would ride or die with you, if you were strong, if your woman would never leave you no matter what because she idolizes you, then your mentality would be strong. Your mind would be strong by extension. So if someone comes to me and goes, I doubt myself, I usually look at them and go, yeah, I understand why. You're a little fat piece of shit and you're stupid. Of course you do. If I was you, I'd doubt myself too. God needs warriors. Let's put it that way.
Right.
And he's entrusted me. So I know I'm doing God's work, but the point is that once you get money, that's fine, but then I believe money is an amplifier. I don't believe money changes. I think it amplifies. So if you're a dork and you get incredibly wealthy, you become a mega dork. Whereas if you're a G and you get incredibly wealthy, you become a mega G.
So
I'll give you an example.
It amplifies your status.
It doesn't change who you are, it amplifies who you are. If you see a Lamborghini pull up and a little nerd gets out, you think, oh, fucking super tech nerd, probably invented Stripe or something, he's a nerd. Whereas if you see a Lambo pull up and a big fucking strong, bald, whatever crazy dude gets out, you think, okay, he's a drug dealer. He's a mafia boss. The Lambo doesn't change what you think, it amplifies who the person is. Money is an amplifier, it doesn't change. So I'm very fortunate, I'm very happy that I was poor for a long time because I never would have been able to learn the lessons I've learned if I was rich. I would have never been able to take those risks. I would have never been able to be in those situations. I've been stabbed just like you. I'll show you my scar. So I would never have been able to been put through hell if I had money. So I'm very glad I was poor for a very long time. And the reason I'm the richest person on the planet is not because of the amount of money I have, it's because of all the shit that happened to me when I was poor. That's when I became top G. It's only when I became rich that people started to pay attention.
So you are more wealthy than Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos.
I wouldn't swap lives with them. Fucking fuck no. Like, I respect Elon. I want him to buy Twitter. Don't know why he stopped. Should have carried on. Anyway, I love them. They're great guys, whatever. I don't know them. Who cares? Point is, I wouldn't want to be them. Like, everyone wants to be me. I'm top G for a reason. I've got it all. I've got every single gift that God can give, plus all the gifts you can make yourself. And I state that without arrogance. I don't mean to be arrogant, but I am a realist. And as a realist, it would be absolutely unprofessional for me to sit here and pretend I'm not an exceptional human being. Because I am. And a lot of those things I did myself. And some of them were God-given. But the ones that weren't God-given was because I put myself through hell. I put myself through hell because I decided to throw comfort away. For 10 years of my life, I was never comfortable. Wow. Never for a second.
Isn't that, they say like the best, like when you're uncomfortable, it's like the best shit because you like, I don't know how to put it in words, but you're going to be fucking weird.
Men are not supposed to be comfortable.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, yeah.
You're sitting here on Twitch.
I'm comfortable, I'm not going to lie to you.
You're comfortable, right?
I am.
If you were born 100 years ago and it was the 1920s, you'd be in some ditch in northern France, living in the fucking mud, hoping not to get killed by a random sniper in some bullshit war you barely understand for 4 years. Then you'd come home and hope your wife hasn't been bombed.
Yo!
Do you understand? But that's the world. That's the world. The world has become exceptionally easy for a lot of men. It used to be a different place. Most men were cannon fodder. Most of us would have ended up in wars, dying for fucking no reason.
Damn.
Now we don't have to do that. So because we don't have to do that, men think it's okay to just become comfortable now. You're not supposed to be comfortable. You were never evolved to be comfortable. You're supposed to be uncomfortable.
Right.
And if you make yourself uncomfortable constructively, it's very easy to be anything you want. You talk about GTA, Grand Theft Auto. I know the game. I used to play the old one on the PlayStation 1 when I was a child.
Which one?
I haven't played any.
Which one? You talk about San Andreas?
Very first one.
Vice City, GTA 3? Yeah.
Oh, the very, 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 very first one, like 1994.
Okay.
Old school.
Okay.
But I've never played any of those games, but I find it amazing that people will sit there and spend all their time upgrading that character, making as much money as they can, getting the best guns, getting strong, getting some hoes, meeting important people, getting the best car. They'll do all that in a game, but they won't do it in real life. I find that incredible. Like, my life is GTA. I don't need to play a game for GTA. If I want a gun, I'll fucking buy it. If I want a car, I'll fucking buy it. I want a bitch, I'll get her. It's me. I am GTA. I don't see why people play the games. They play the games because they're scared of loss. Because if you die in the game, you get another chance. If you lose in the game, you get another chance. In life, you get one shot.
Damn, that's...
But if you get some balls, That's what life is as a game. That's what life is as a man. This is one big video game. You get to upgrade your character. You're not born with any value. All these women that you just put me on with are born with value. They're pretty already. They're gorgeous already. They're good looking enough. Even if they're a 5, someone's going to give a shit they exist because someone wants to fuck them. As a man, if you don't make yourself valuable, you have no value. You have to get up and do it. Just like a video game, you start with fucking 0. You have to decide if you want to complete it. You have to upgrade your character. So I find it amazing that men are going to play video games and fuck about and waste their time instead of upgrading their character. Everyone knows what to do. You know what you have to do.
You're right.
If you had to become the most dangerous, intelligent, respectable man on the planet, you know you're supposed to go to the gym. You know you're supposed to train, learn how to fight. You know all these things. You don't do them. That's your decision. It's your prerogative. I didn't make that choice. I made the choice to do it all. I decided all of it. And every single man watching this can do the exact same thing. Which is why I have very little pity when I do these streams and people think I'm arrogant or I'm rude to people, or even to you earlier when I was making jokes and I've been joking with the girls.
You're
saying
good,
drink the soy latte.
I'm not, yeah.
Of course, and I know we're only joking, right? But the point is, that's a conscious decision you made. I would never make fun of someone who hasn't got a choice. I wouldn't make fun of someone born with one arm.
I have a choice though.
But if you've made a fucking decision to be less than you should be, then I believe you should be mocked for that decision.
I agree. I feel like, yeah, because like you're not living up to your full potential. Like it's your choice to basically not live up to your full potential.
Completely. And me as a man, when I put myself through hell, when I have had such exacting, such stringent standards for myself, why would I then have less exacting, stringent standards on the people I meet?
Damn.
Why would I put myself through hell to be me and then meet someone who didn't put themselves through hell and then treat them like my equal? No, fuck you. I suffered when you didn't. So you're not my equal because you decided not to suffer. You have enjoyed comfort when I haven't, and that's fine, but don't expect me to look at you as my equal because you're not. I'll snap your fucking neck. When I tell people that you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with, everyone agrees. They go, yeah, that's probably true. The 5 people you spend the most time with, that's what you're gonna end up like. They say, yeah, that's true. And then they continue to hang around with people who they don't want to be. Why? There has to be a point. There has to be a point where you sit and go, okay, you're my friends, etc., etc. I love you guys. Yeah, we can talk, whatever. But I'm on a different life path. You have to leave some people behind. You wouldn't want to be, if you were to come hang out with me and you were in a room with me and my 5 friends, you'd feel self-conscious.
You're right.
You don't feel self-conscious with your friends.
Because you only surround yourself around people that are on like your level of like.
I'm with killers. We're fucking monsters. If you were to come hang around with me and my crew, you would be self-conscious, and that self-consciousness would motivate you, or they would certainly instill the discipline required for you to change. You don't feel self-conscious amongst your peers. That's why you don't change. If you were to get in a room and you're the only person who ain't a fucking monster, you'd want to become a monster. That's life. That's humanity. So I say this to people all the time. If you know you're the sum of the 5 people you hang around with, why are you hanging around with people you don't want to be? And that's why I live in a competitive environment. I live with my brother, my cousin. I live with men. We have a big house. We could all afford fucking 10 houses each. We live together on purpose. If my brother does 500 push-ups, I ain't going to be the bitch of the house. I ain't going to not do them.
Right.
So that's another reason the war room exists. My organization, the reason it's so competitive is the reason we kick people out. You have to fight to keep.
Even if they pay, you're like, I don't give a fuck. Get out. Like,
I don't give a fuck. Get out. Come out. It doesn't matter. Everyone pays to join. You get kicked out anyway. You have to fight to keep your place. That's the whole.
Damn.
That's because that's how life was. If we were still in the animal kingdom, the lions that you see on TV, they weren't just born big lions. They had to fight other lions. They had to fight to get that antelope. They had to fight other animals, hyenas, jackals. They had to fight to be the boss. We're living in a comfortable world now where people think, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But you know what? To some degree, it does matter. It does matter. And I'll tell you who it matters to. It matters to your soul and it matters to God. I stand in the mirror with a pure heart. I know I am the best version of me that could possibly ever exist. I know that God is proud of me. There's nothing that God hates more than sloth and laziness. If God were to create a man and that man were to sit around and do fuck all, God will frown upon you. It's why you're never lucky. If you're listening to this and you think I'm never lucky, I'll tell you why, because God dislikes you because you're fucking lazy. Start to work. Start to show God the beauty of his own creations. You'd be amazed how lucky you'll become.
Wow.
God is unhappy with these people. And inside their hearts, they're unhappy. We talk about depression, anxiety, all those things you mentioned earlier on this podcast. That comes from self-loathing. You loathe your own weakness. You loathe your own laziness. This is what all of these things are. I don't feel depression. How can I feel depression when I'm the most powerful version of me that I could ever fucking be? How can I feel depression when I could squeeze my own hand hard enough to break my own bones? How can I feel depression when I've smashed and destroyed 68 people's faces in front of me, men who thought they could test me in fair combat? How can I feel depressed? It's impossible. You have to rewire your brain. That's one of the things you have to rewire your brain to do. And the reason your brain needs to be rewired is because anyone who is watching this stream below the age of 30, your brain is already broken. And I'll tell you it's broken. I'll tell you why. Watch your friends when they're on TikTok. How long can they even focus on a video before they have to change? Half a second, a second, maybe. All of your minds are broken. You can't even focus on anything anymore.
You're right.
You are constantly distracted to the point where you can't even appreciate the good things in your life. You're distracted. Your minds are broken. You need to rewire your mind and resist the slave programming.
How?
They have programmed. I'll tell you how. First thing you have to do is identify it. You have to identify what is happening to you. I use my mind to break the trap. What I do is I allow my enemy to manipulate me on purpose. And then I use my mind to break the trap and punish the perpetrators. I will sit on TikTok for a day and I'll just enjoy TikTok. And by the end of the day, I'll watch myself. How quickly I'm looking to be entertained, how little time I give a video, how fucked up I am. And then I'll blink and I'll cure my fucking brain. You must allow yourself to be manipulated and you must fix it. All of it. You just talked about not appreciating the things you have. Then blink and cure your brain. It's a conscious decision. You're letting other people control your mind.
All distraction.
The Matrix is trying to control your mind. They're very good at it. That's what they do to control all of us. You have to break the trap. If you cannot control your own mind, let me make this point because it's extremely important. If you cannot control your own mind, then you are just a feather in the wind of life, because your own mind is the only thing you can control. You can't control the weather. Right. You can't control other people. You can't even control whether your heart stops beating. You might have a heart attack tomorrow. You can't control anything besides what you think. If you cannot control your own mind, then you go through life with zero control, zero influence. You can't control anything. You're just a feather in the wind, waiting for life to blow you from happy place to sad place to happy place to sad place, completely hoping on the gods to be fortunate to you, because if any genuine discomfort comes your way, you're fucked. It is trained, like everything else in life. It is trained. So if you find yourself not appreciating what you have until it's gone, then you must blink and cure your brain. If you find yourself unable to focus or concentrate on tasks, you must blink and cure your brain. If you find yourself unable to go and dedicate yourself to something you don't want to do, you must blink and cure your brain. Because all of our minds have been under constant assault for years. The way the mind functions, the way people interact, has changed so significantly in the last 10 years you wouldn't believe. If you go to a party today as opposed to a party 10 years ago, they look completely different. People are acting differently. People are on their phones now than ever used to be. Even now, people will go to places only to get an Instagram picture, even if they don't enjoy the place.
Wow.
It's all about pretending they're having fun as opposed to actually having fun. The entire paradigm of society and how we interact has now changed. Every single thing in the world is attempting to influence you. I'll give you another paradigm that people need to understand. I ask people have these beliefs. Doesn't matter what their belief is. Doesn't matter, they believe in something. I say, where did you get that belief from? And they don't know. Oh, well, it's just how it's supposed to be. We're just supposed to wear a mask, whatever it is, right? Where did you get that belief? Who told you that? And does that person have your best interests at heart? Think about it. Think about all the things you truly believe. Think where you learned it, and think if that person actually gives a fuck about you. Because the only thing you should be learning from is personal experience, or people who genuinely care about you and love you. Most people are out here believing things and repeating things that were told to them by people who don't even fucking like them, by their enemies. Everyone's mind is fundamentally fucked. All of it. Look at me. I'm a guy who decided to conquer social media. I blinked, I cured my brain, I used basic indefatigability, I used perspicacity, I used compendiousness, I used my mind, and I focused, and I fucking conquered the world in a few short months. It's not difficult, there's just no competition, because everybody's fucking distracted. They're getting distracted by this, distracted by that, watching fucking Netflix, jerking off to Pornhub like fucking jackasses. It's so easy to win. if you can control your own mind. But it seems that nobody fucking can. And that's how the people who run the world keep the world running, because they have all the slaves exactly where they need them to be, permanently distracted and semi-depressed, working their asses off in jobs which will never satisfy them and never pay enough money. That's the matrix.
It's a cycle. It's a cycle. Like it's a repeating cycle. Like people like get caught in it too. And the problem is too, schools like don't really teach the best things. I feel like
well, schools are designed to make you a slave. You're set up for slavery. Whole thing's a fucking scam. The education system's a scam. The judicial system's a scam. The medical system's a scam. Look at these last few years. You're living in Canada. You haven't learned that everything's a fucking scam? All of it. Oh, but don't worry. If things don't go my way, I'll get to go to court and have my say in court. Yeah, that's fair. We learned that doesn't mean a fucking thing. The law doesn't mean a thing. Your rights don't mean a thing. It's all a fucking scam. The only hope you have is to cure your brain, see the attacks which are coming from the Matrix, get a strong network of individuals such as the War Room, and then learn how to escape. Most people are so deep inside of their programming. What did Morpheus say in the Matrix? Most people are so hopelessly dependent on the system they will die and fight to defend it. Most people will sit here and pretend that the world they live in is just and fair because they are fucking slaves. Slave-minded. And to break the slave mind, to truly resist the programming, you have to understand what's happening to you. And this is only the beginning. I could talk about this for hours and hours and hours. But the basic answer to everything is you must control your mind.
Wow. Mind control. Damn, bro, what the fuck? I feel like I'm a changed man talking to you. It's crazy.
Good, because I know you will change for the better. And you can be absolutely anything you want to be. I'll tell you something, man. If I was 21 like you, and I had your money and your influence, when I was 21, I couldn't even fucking eat. I was effectively homeless.
Jesus
and I still managed to become a world champion kickboxer without food. If I was you with your setup right now, I could be anyone I fucking wanted. You can be king of earth. You have every single thing except for mind control. You have the last missing piece and you can conquer the planet. This is what the beautiful thing about being a man is, right? It's because being a man is difficult. It's so much harder than being a woman. Being a man is hard mode. But just like you play the video game on hard mode, when you win, you get a higher score. There is no better existence than a top tier male. Being a woman would suck.
Whoa.
And I don't mean that in a horrible way. I mean that there's no conquest. You don't conquer. You're born with value, and by the time you're 27, you're old, and you have some kids. Great, good. That's a woman's path. Fine. But you don't get to conquer the world.
Yeah, but
like Genghis Khan.
But to be fair, there's been accomplishments like that women have done that have been like superior in history.
They can accomplish things, but the true importance of being a woman is procreation. A lot of guys are asking me how you get rich. I'll tell you how you get rich. You go to Tate.com and you join Hustlers University. I have a school that teaches people how to make money online with 18 modern wealth creation methods. If you have the money now, then you join the War Room. Between those two programs, I can make anybody who's prepared to work rich. I cannot make lazy people rich. I cannot make quitters rich. But I can make people who are prepared to work rich. It doesn't matter if you're in Nairobi with nothing. I can teach anyone how to make money. Anybody. It's really actually easy. I can teach anybody how to make money. But you cannot be a quitter and you cannot be lazy. So if you look in the mirror and say, I'm a dedicated, hardworking person, I'm not a quitter and I'm not lazy, then you can make money. CobraTape.com, Hustlers University, or the War Room. Between those two programs, you can conquer Earth just like I have. It's not complicated. I'll tell you exactly how to do it. If you're not a quitter and if you're not lazy, if you're prepared to follow instruction, if you're prepared to dedicate yourself for 6 solid months, 6 months out of your life, and you'll be fine. That's the answer to that question. But all in all, I mean the best for people. I want everyone to be successful. I want the world to be a better place. And I think the world's a better place based on the back of strong men who stand up for what they believe in. I think that's how the world's always been a better place. The Matrix programming says the opposite, but what did I say earlier about who is telling us, who is giving us these ideas, and do they care about us? They're telling us that to be a better place, all the men need to be weaklings and compassionate without any morals or without any hard lines or beliefs, and they must talk in a very, very soft way, and we need to be very, very compassionate and very, very tolerant and all these things. But if you look at history, the only times things were peaceful and nice is when strong men stood up with their swords and said, no, this is mine and this works this way and no one's going to come fuck with it. I think that masculinity and strength is what makes things beautiful, is what preserves things, and is what we need more of. This is what's missing from the world. All of the problems in the world today could be solved by men of honor, not doing bad things, men of honor standing up and saying, no, this is wrong. That could fix a lot, but nobody seems to want to do it because they're too busy being distracted distracted by the Matrix. I can't imagine truly wanting to quit something and not being able to quit. I can't imagine it. Like, when I talk to people who say, I want to quit smoking, I say, when? They go, oh, well, soon. Well, that means you don't want to quit. You want to keep smoking for a while and quit later. Like, I could quit cigars today. Like, it wouldn't even plague my mind. Like, if I wanted to quit, I'd quit. I can't imagine a mind frame or a mindset where I want to do something and can't do it. Right. So it's almost difficult for me to answer that question, because if you have that kind of mind, if your mind is so fundamentally broken that you cannot do with your own mind what you want to do,
right?
You know, like that, then you're just fucked, right? Life is hierarchical. There's always going to be kings and there's always going to be peasants. If you have a mind that you can't control, then you're never going to be a king. You're going to be a peasant. That's your life. You have a peasant's life ahead of you, and that's your destiny. Enjoy, right? There's always been peasants. That's life. But I believe that the most important thing you can do as a man is to gain control of your mind. Once you have control of your mind, life is so ridiculously easy. It's so ridiculously easy. It's so easy to be in. People say to me, Tate, you're in good shape, but all you do is drink vodka and travel the world. You're never even home. You never even have a gym. How do you do it? It's ridiculously easy if you control your mind. If I decide to do 1,000 push-ups, I'll do them. Maybe I have to do them one at a time. Maybe I'll get tired. Maybe I need a break. I'm going to do 1,000 because I said I'm going to do 1,000. It's not fucking hard. Everyone knows what they're supposed to do. Once you control your mind, it's easy, right? Getting over a breakup with that bitch. You miss that girl, you're upset, you miss her with all your heart, da-da-da. But once you realize she's gone, if you control your mind, she's gone now. She's gone now, I'm going to miss her. That's a shame. Off to the gym. You either control your mind or you don't. And all of these things stem from the same problem. It's something you can do. It's something that is learned. It's something that is taught. But it's something that I needed to survive. So for me, it's easy, right? It's all I've ever known. Right. But people have life now. They don't need it to survive, so they never develop the skill. That's just how it works. At the end of World War II, when men went to Europe and saw unspeakable horrors at the end of World War II, did they all come home and need therapy, or did they all come home and get back to life?
Get back to life.
Because everyone was taught to have a mind that they control because they needed it to survive. There's no one else. That's how life worked back then. Now imagine there was a war that big. Imagine the fucking therapy, the fallout, the fucking bullshit. No one would be able to fucking even just go back in. And I'm not saying they didn't see bad things. I'm not saying it's not hard. It's fucking horrible. But that's how it works. That's life. Like, I've seen shit. Like, we've all had our trauma. You have to get through it. You either let it destroy you or let it build you.
Have you ever been in love before?
Completely. I believe in love. I believe in love. I believe in men and women being in love. I believe in finding a woman and loving her with all my heart. I'm not going to let her fucking take the piss out of me. I'm not going to let her walk over my standards or my boundaries. I'm a man. I love you with all my heart. And I said you're not going to the club with your girls. I want to go. Cool. Then we're over. And I will love you while I don't see you. I might still love you a little while, but fuck you. That's the line. You overstepped the line. Goodbye. That's life. I can love a bitch and ignore her texts. Watch me. I can be head over heels in love and still ignore her ass for breaking my rules. Because I set the rules because I'm a man. It's my world. You step into my world. I don't step into your world. You step into my world. You're never going to win 100% of the time. You might love a bitch and lose her. Cool, but you might love a bitch and keep her. If I let her go to the club with her girls all the time, how long is it until she meets a new dude and cheats on me anyway? Sooner or later. You're going to lose her anyway, so why not lose her as a man, sticking to your fucking guns instead of losing her 7 months later behind your back? Just stick up for yourself. Stick up for your fucking self. But this is it. But people are so scared of the emotions. That's all it is. No one's going to shoot them in the head. They're scared of the emotions of missing her. You're a full-grown man. You're scared of some emotions. Sit in bed and be sad and fucking play your chess and go to the gym and be sad and lift your weights and be sad for a while and do your shit till you're not sad anymore. The fuck? You're just scared of emotions to the point you let a bitch run your fucking life? It's insane. And this is the world we're in today. Everyone's scared. All full-grown men are scared of feeling fucking sad a little bit. It's crazy. This is it. Conquest. Conquest is all life's ever been for men. This is what men have an innate desire to conquest, to conquer. Even you care about having as many viewers as possible on your streams. You care about being as big as possible. You care about conquering. Why did the Romans wake up, melt rocks, make swords, and walk in random directions? They didn't have Google Maps. They didn't have a fucking clue where they were going. Random directions to find some other group of people and fuck them up and take their shit. Why?
Conquer.
Conquest. This is to conquer. Why did Genghis Khan ride his ass from Mongolia all the way to fucking Vienna? It's a long way. Why? Conquer. Men are born with this innate desire to conquer. It's inside of us. They're trying to suppress it. They're trying to distract it away from you, tell you that you're wrong. You're toxically masculine. You shouldn't want to conquer. You should want to sit at home and be tolerant. No, you shouldn't. You should want to conquer shit. Doesn't matter if you do it fiscally and make as much money as possible. Doesn't matter if you do it in the gym, lifting as much weight as possible. Doesn't matter if you try and become as big as possible on the internet like you have. You need to find out a way to conquer Earth and conquer. It's the only thing that's going to make you happy as a man. The only thing that's going to make you intrinsically happy is conquest. Nothing else. If you're depressed, it's because you don't conquer shit. Conquer something. Get up and do it. It doesn't have to be a negative at all. You can do it in a very, very positive way. You can have a positive impact on the world. I like to think that my impact on the world has been positive. I've conquered the whole fucking internet, and I've done it in a positive way. I'm helping the world. Maybe my enemies, maybe the Matrix doesn't like me, but there's young men who are watching every single one of my videos whose lives are changing. So conquest can be a very positive thing. So I'm here on the internet conquering the internet because I've decided to, because that's my hobby. Because I don't do anything degenerate. I don't take drugs. I don't gamble anymore. I used to gamble a bit, bored of it. Don't gamble, don't take drugs. I drink sometimes, but it's really not a big deal for me. I don't like to drink too much. Pussy's great, but how much of it do you really need? I have enough. But what the fuck else is there to do? Drive cars and conquer the internet. There ain't nothing else to do. Goals are something that you put on the wall to motivate yourself, right?
Right.
Goals are so you want to buy a car, you put the car on the wall and it motivates you to go to work to get the car. So that's a goal. Goals are for motivation. I don't work on motivation, I work on discipline. So I don't have a set goal. I just get up and do what I know I'm supposed to do. I don't work to try and afford that car. I work because I'm supposed to work. And then I can already afford that car and another one and another one and a boat and a plane and a house and another house and a land. And then I just work. I do my work. That is my duty as a man, is my duty to God. I train in the gym, it is my duty to God. I do my duties to God. I fulfill my duty. I'm an old school gentleman of honor and respect. I do what I'm supposed to do. I don't have any particular set goals. Anything I decide to do or want to do, I can do instantly. And if I can't do it instantly, I can do it pretty fucking quickly. I don't need goals in that old traditional sense. I do what I'm supposed to do.
Wow.
It's not a matter of how I feel or how I'm motivated. If I was depressed, it's impossible, but if I was depressed, my life would be, and the day-to-day activities would be exactly the same as if I was ecstatically happy. You wouldn't be able to see a difference. I'd be up at the same time. I'd be in the gym the same. I'd be doing the same shit. Those are my duties to God. How I feel has nothing to do with it. Completely unrelated. How I feel is unrelated to my duties to God. They don't change based on how I feel. They're the same. And they will be completed because I refuse to fail God or my bloodline.
That's amazing.
I'm telling you. There's how many people in this stream? 188,000, 168,000, whatever. You could take 150,000 of these people and travel back in time and stand them in front of their ancestors. And their ancestors who fought fucking saber-toothed tigers or escaped the Mongol hordes or managed to dodge bombs in the Second World War. All the shit they went through just for this fucking cretin to be born. And to look at him, look at who he is, listen to his life story, listen to what he does on a day-to-day basis, and they would feel nothing but fucking shame. Your ancestors did all that shit, all that struggling to survive, hunting and gathering, fucking avoiding enemies, anything it took, dying at age 30 from a tooth infection, all the crap they went through just for you to be born so you could smoke weed and jack off. That's what your ancestors died for. That's what they worked so hard for. That's who you are. That's the end of your fucking bloodline. Do you feel no shame? It's fucking shameful. My ancestors will look at me and think everything we went through was fucking worth it. Your ancestors will look at most of these people, their ancestors look at them and feel nothing but fucking disgust.
It's true.
It's fucking true. It's disgusting. And they should look in the mirror, look deep in their own eyes and say, yes, I'm fucking disgusting. I can change this. That's the beauty about being a man. If you're disgusting, you can change it. That's the beauty. There's nothing stopping you changing it.
You're right.
And you must accept it first. Most of these people, what they do is they hang around with other disgusting people, and then they're a little group of disgusting people, and they think, well, I'm not disgusting, everyone's disgusting, and this is normal, and it's normal to be a fucking jerk off. Not in my world, it isn't. This is when I was making jokes earlier about predators and prey. In my world, I'm in a world of predators. It's not normal to be a fucking jerk off in my world. There are duties that men must fulfill, whether to God or to your bloodline. But this is a genuine honesty. I'll say this now. Of those 150,000 people, I guarantee even their fucking living relatives, their living parents aren't even proud of them. Like, the fuck? Your own father's ashamed of you. And you don't even feel fucking motivated to do shit.
Chat, y'all think that's true?
It's a fucking shame. If you were to go and look your father in the eye and said, you know what? I could have been a UFC champion. I could have been a multi-millionaire. I could have been a race car driver. I could have been a fucking nuclear physicist. Could have done all these things, but I was busy on Pornhub. You think he's gonna be proud of you? Fuck no. Fuck no. And there's men here who will deny it, right? There's men who will go, no, 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 no. But those are the ones who are most lost. It's the denial that's going to hold you back the most. The people who go, yes, I'm wasting my potential. Those are the ones who have potential. The ones who stand up and go, I am wasting my potential. I could be anything and I am not that yet. They have a chance. The men who go, well, no, actually, I'm fine. They're fucked. They're inside the matrix, fully slave-minded. They're a waste of time. But if you sit there and go, you know what? Yeah, I am wasting my potential. Yes, I can be more than I am. Even if I'm already great, I can be better. As good as I am, I still push myself to the limit every single fucking day. I have every single thing a man could possibly want. I'm still pushing myself. This is your prerogative as a man, but you need to be instilled with a sense of duty to your bloodline. You must want it. You need to want it deep inside your soul. I can't die as anything less than emperor. It's my destiny. Knowing that you pushed yourself to do things you don't want to do, there's nothing that feels better than the feeling you have after you did something you don't want to do. As you know, when you're supposed to clean your room.
Yeah, you're right.
You eventually clean it and you're like, thank fuck I've cleaned it.
I did it. Like the homework. I went back at school. Oh, I did my homework. Oh, thank God I did it. I didn't want to do it, but thank God I did it. It's done.
Correct. That's what it feels like every single day of your life is nothing but discipline. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful existence.
That's a great feeling. That's a really, really good feeling, I bet. I need that. I need discipline. I need it.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful existence. After I picked up my Chiron, when I bought the Bugatti and I picked it up, the first thing I did was order another one. Like, it never ends. There's always a new mountain to climb.
So you're saying there's never really beating the game. There's always a mission. There's always something to conquer.
Always. And even if it's just tiny little, it's professionalism. It's holding yourself to such a high standard. There's a professional way to do everything. I'll tell you a story. I lost my keys about 3 weeks ago. It was the first time I'd lost anything in 4 or 5 years. Because when I put something down, I've taught myself to put it down and repeat in my head where I put it. I put my phone on the kitchen counter. I put my phone on the kitchen counter. I say it in my head like 3 times as I walk off. I don't lose things. I know where everything is all the time. I'm a professional. I don't lose stuff ever. And I lost my keys. I was furious at myself. The ways I punished myself for only losing my keys took me 20 minutes to find them. Found them. I donated money to charity. I refused to go driving. I worked harder in the gym. I fasted for 24 hours. I punished myself. And my chick's like, what are you doing? So I lost keys. She goes, yeah, but it's only you losing keys. You're a fucking chick. You don't get it. I don't make mistakes. I don't make mistakes, and I made one, and I will pay a price. I will not lose my keys again. God is my witness. God above, I will not lose my fucking keys again. I will make sure I repeat in my head 25 times if necessary. Every time I put anything down out of my pockets exactly where it is, I will never lose anything ever again. I am a professional. I am exceptionally hard on myself because that's how I enjoy life. I can't imagine life any other way. I can't imagine life going through life, losing my keys, oops, crying over a bitch, oops, oh, I don't feel like it today, oops. I can't even fathom that existence. It sounds like hell to me. I get anxiety even imagining that existence. You want to talk about anxiety? I get anxious even imagining living that way. I am a hyper professional. So can you always be more professional? Yes, I can always be more professional. I could memorize the number plate of every single car behind me every single time I drive a car to make sure I'm not being followed.
So I'm trying. Do you have a?
There's always something to do.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to learn that now. And if I drive for more than 2 or 3 hours, I start to forget the number plates. So it's difficult. So there's always a new level of professionalism. There's always a new place to go. So the game is never completed.
Damn. So it never ends. There's always something.
There's always something, and thank God there is, because if I completed the
then
game,
there would be nothing to do. You lose your mind.
I'd be more depressed than
anything.
That would be the sadness.
Yeah.
The true sadness is when the game is over.
The true sadness when the game is over. Wow.
The game has just begun.
People are obsessed with this idea of fun. They don't have any duty to their ancestors, no honor. They don't do what they're supposed to do. They don't read the Bible and abstain from sin. No. They don't read the Quran and understand they should be covering their hair and dressing modestly. Instead, they're obsessed with this idea of fun, especially women. Women badly want fun, which is why the whole world's falling apart. A female in her prime breeding age is obsessed with getting likes on a social media app as opposed to having children. Fun has ruined the world. And she sat in my car because I picked her up at this point. I could tell she was a bit like, okay, well, this is gonna be a fun night. Way to ruin the mood. Like I can fuck anyway. Bro, I'm top G, I can ruin any fucking mood I want. I can be in any mood I want. You're gonna sit in that chair and you're gonna love me anyway. I could be happy, sad, miserable. I could talk about the Matrix. I could ignore you on my phone. Nothing changes. You're naked at the end. Who gives a shit? So I told her, after explaining that fun is haram and that people shouldn't be having fun. She said, yeah, but you know, it's harmless because parachuting isn't destroying society. I said, well, no, you missed the meta point about fun. Of course, you missed the big picture. But let me give you another reason why I don't like these things. I don't think playing with your life is a good thing to do. Whether you're jumping out of a plane or swimming with sharks, the game is basically, ha ha ha, I was supposed to die, but I didn't. To me, that's bad juju, you know? Especially if you're only doing it for fun. If I charge into battle to defend my homeland, or if I fight evil oppressors who are attempting to enslave humanity with my Aikido, and I win, I've risked my life for good purpose. But if you risk your life to have fun, I think that pisses God off a little bit, which is why all these skydivers were losers. He didn't decide to kill them, but he decided to make them losers, because they were losers, and you can see my old video, they're fucking losers. Then I tried to explain to her the difference between the truly masculine and feminine frame. And she failed to understand me, I believe. So I'm going to try and explain it to you all at home, and perhaps you have a better capability of comprehension. I explained to her that she has no problem jumping out of a plane because her entire life is based on luck. Females live in willful ignorance in regards to their own safety, because if they accept the reality of how dangerous the world is, they will never leave the house. They can't protect themselves, they can't defend themselves, they're not perspicacious enough to even see the danger coming. In fact, they ignore danger to such a high level that they put themselves in danger by going out and getting drunk and doing stupid things. This girl said to me, I don't put myself in danger. I said, you just got into the car with a 6'4" kickboxer and you don't even know where I'm driving. Way to kill the mood. I can kill any mood I fucking want. A little bit of fear in her eyes, nervous laugh. Yeah, dummy. Thank fuck I'm a nice man. Of course you don't consider for a second I'm a psycho. You don't think of danger ever. Because if you consider danger as a female, life's unlivable. You just go outside and pray. I'm gonna walk down the street and hope nobody attacks me. If they do, I can't do anything, but I'm gonna pray. So the female frame of jumping out of a plane is, hope so, because a female life is hope so. Hope so, hope it's okay. The masculine frame is different. The masculine frame is, I'll walk down this street. I hope they don't attack me, but if they do, I am a master of Aikido. I can affect the situation. I do not need blind luck. I can rely on my strength and my competence and my skill and my bravery. Do you understand? The shadow fist. She doesn't have a shadow fist. She has fake tits. I have a shadow fist. I can rip a man's throat out. As he insults me, he'll finish his sentence with his throat missing. She can't do that. So when I look at dangerous situations, I think, how could I affect said dangerous situation? And if there's a dangerous situation which I couldn't affect, e.g. parachute failure, I don't put myself in it. Why would I? My entire life is not based on luck. It's based on me being the man, being the best. There's been times in my life I should have died. Most would have died. I didn't die because I'm that much better than the average man. I'm that much better. Those are the kind of situations I have no problem putting myself in. I rely on myself and trust myself. I'm not going to put myself in a situation that I cannot affect. A female does, because she does that every single time she leaves the fucking house. I explained this to her, and her beautiful body, which contains some sort of brain, I guess, failed to truly fathom it. And she said, but, so then what do you do for excitement? I had to explain to her. I said, my dear, when we park this car outside of the restaurant, you're gonna get out, and you're gonna take your high heels, and you're gonna try not to fall over and embarrass yourself, and you're gonna walk your Bambi legs, your long legs, towards the restaurant, do, with a little song in your head. I'm gonna pull up, I'm gonna find a parking space, I'm gonna look around to see who's near my car, I'm gonna see who's there, I'm gonna wait for my security team to arrive, I'm gonna wait for them to get out, I'm gonna wait for them to put their hands on their firearms, I'm then gonna leave my car, my head's gonna be on a swivel, I'm gonna be walking towards the restaurant, keeping an eye on you, making sure you don't fall, making sure nobody can sneak up on me, and try and get into the restaurant without incident and without injury. Me walking to a restaurant is the same level of adrenaline as you jumping out of a plane. And you don't understand that because you live in a dream. And any man who can walk to a restaurant without feeling fear or adrenaline or nerves is not a warrior. He's not a killer because he's not been around the kind of people I've been around. He's not been on both sides of the equation. I'll sit here and say it right now. In my younger years, there have been times where I have waited for my enemy to get out of his car and walk to a restaurant. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I know how bad it can go. And I know how quickly it can happen. And I know how cunning an enemy can be when they're planning your demise. I feel an adrenaline rush every time I have to do anything outside of my walls and my gates. So why the fuck would I need to jump out of a plane? I'm glad I got into the restaurant without incident and sat down and listened to you praise me for 2 hours and paid $1,000 for food I barely liked and got home, filled you with a substance, and got rid of you without anyone dying. That's been stressful enough for me. Any man watching this who doesn't get it, well then you're not important. Nobody wants you dead, I guess. Or you're not a warrior, you've never seen the realities of life, I guess. Which makes you basically a chick. Most of you dudes watching this go outside knowing that if you're attacked, you can't do anything about it. You're not highly trained and especially versed in hand-to-hand combat. You do not have backup on speed dial. You don't have a contingency plan. You have nothing. Most of you are operating like chicks. I'll just go out and hope the bad guys don't come. I'd have refused to operate in that frame. So this whole I'm gonna risk my life purely for luck thing, I find offensive. I also find it quite immature. Don't you? I have children. I have staff. I have an empire. I have a mission. I have a purpose. I have things to do. Important things that affect the entire world. Me making this video affects the entire world. My kids need me alive. What kind of father would I be if I started saying, well, my kids need me alive, but it would be fun to jump out of a plane? Isn't the duty to raising my children more important? Shouldn't I be prioritizing that over absolute dumb shit? Can't I jump out of a plane when I'm 80 and my life's almost over? Why would I do it now at the prime of my powers? Because if the parachute failed to open and I smashed into the ground, I wouldn't die. It's not me. Top G, I'm built different. But it would probably hurt a little bit. You know? Why is Andrew not at work today? For the first time in 3 years, he's having a day off. His parachute failed to open. I'd miss a whole 24 hours of work, which is of course unacceptable. And also quite embarrassing. Let's imagine I knew a guy, his life's in order, he's a dude. He dies one day. Greg, some white boy, this is white boy shit, because black people understand deep in our hearts that the world's dangerous enough. That's why you don't see black people doing extreme sports. Being dark, being brown is already extreme enough. We live extreme lives just because of our skin color. We don't need to be doing this. You do not see black people jump out of planes. Greg, the white boy. Greg's dead. What happened to Greg? He jumped out of a plane. And he died. Yeah. Then why the fuck did he jump out of a fucking plane? Who's gonna raise Greg's fucking kids now? Well, he enjoyed it. Well, I'm sure he didn't enjoy it the last time he fucking jumped out. Dummy. There'd be no sympathy at all in my heart for some fucking asshole who pounds into the ground and becomes smush for fun. Jesus fucking Christ. I really think we need to throw away this obsession with fun. Fun is haram. Whenever I see somebody goes, let's have some fun, I say, well, what shall we do? And I listen to their suggestions. It's always asinine. It's never let's build an empire. It's never let's resist enslavement. It's never let's make a bunch of money. It's never let's get another passport or another residency or set up another shell company or set up a trust. It's never let's read the law to make sure that we can defend ourselves in court. It's nothing that matters. It's let's go to a party and then they'll play music and then we'll dance. For fucking hours of your fucking life. Why? You don't need fun. You need purpose. You need a mission. You need something larger than yourself to live for. You're just some empty vessel with no soul and no spirit trying to attract dopamine from the asinine. Put it into your blood and just be a fucking inept idiot bouncing around on some substance or alcohol or drug or something, worshiping some music artist who wouldn't give a shit if you fell out of a plane and smashed into the fucking ground. Because it's fun. Woo. And women love fun. And because you're desperate for pussy, you chase the women around. And women want to go to a party, so you go to the party because there's girls there. I spend most of my time on dates now just lecturing women if I talk at all. Say, this is not going to be a fun date, it's going to be education. You're going to sit your ass down and I'm going to talk about all the things you've ever done that are fun and how pointless they were. When's the last time you've done anything of significance? What do you mean? Tell me something significant you do. No, Instagram isn't significant. Selfies aren't significant. Tell me something significant you do with your life. Eventually, they get to the very pertinent question. It's quite obvious, but it takes them a while. Well, what should I be doing? You should be having fucking children. That's what you should be doing. That's important. Outside of that, basically everything you do will not matter. And nobody will care. You should be having kids. Logical extension to that is, well, if I have kids and I don't have a career, who's going to pay for them? So you're going to need a millionaire, aren't you? Well, yeah, I guess that's every woman's dream, just to have a man to take care of them, to have kids. And there we go. Baby mama number 11. Oops. If I did jump out of a plane, which I won't, and I did die, which wouldn't happen because I'm top G and I'm built different. This is an open declaration. This is like my will. So if this ever happens, if I ever do anything stupid, deliberately to test my life, and somehow it doesn't go well because God decides to teach me a lesson for doing something so dumb, I would like all of my baby mamas at the same funeral, please. In a final show of defiance, a final fireworks display for the world, I want all these baddies to turn up and argue. All these hot women, hey, who are you? 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 That would be fun. When I say I don't believe in depression, nobody can convince me to believe in depression. That's not a matter of discussing whether depression's real or not. That's a matter of me accepting that my mental model for going through life is more effective if I don't believe I can become a depressed person. Yeah. I don't believe in depression, so I can't be depressed, so that allows me to be more effective.
It's not a matter of sitting there going, well, maybe it's true, maybe it isn't. I don't believe in it, so I can't catch it.
You shape your own reality through the conviction of your thoughts, your beliefs, and the words that you use.
Why else would you adopt any kind of mindset unless it's designed specifically to make you competitive and make you win? You install the software in your mind, right? So if I'm going to install software in my mind.
Install it?
Well, I've tried very hard to create it.
Right, because wasn't it installed by your upbringing? Wasn't it installed by your mother and your father in some way before you were conscious, while you were just a developing child? Like something got programmed into your psyche that has to have an impact on you. And those things can't necessarily be known because you were at such a young age.
Absolutely. We're all programmed to some degree. I agree with you on this so far. I don't think anybody can escape programming, whether it's society, whether it's a television show, whether it's the people around you, peer pressure, whether it's a religion. We're all programmed to some degree. That's absolutely not really true. What I have done, and what I think most people do not do, is heavily analyze why I hold the beliefs I hold, why they help me. If I don't hold the belief personally, or if I didn't learn it from personal experience, I know where it came from, who tried to teach me that, whether their intentions for me were good or bad. And I've tried very hard to have my mindset rigidly analyzed and make sure that it's put together in a way which benefits me completely and absolutely. And I do not believe in things that take away power from me. Right. I refuse to do that. I would rather say that they are not real. And people will sit here and argue to the end of time that they are real, but they're not real in my world, and I live inside of my mind. So even if you throw me in a Romanian dungeon, the idea that I become a depressed person is not a framework that my mind works within, so I can't become depressed. I can feel a little bit sad, sure, I can feel depressed, but I can't be depressed. They're very different things. So that's just the mindset I've installed, and it's allowed me to be competitive. And I believe, personally, my personal beliefs are that life as a man is hyper competitive. And whatever software you have in your mind should be designed to make you as competitive as possible. And you shouldn't be believing in absolutely anything else. So I've tried very hard to make sure all of my worldviews and all of my experiences and everything is curated and aimed in a direction which is going to allow me to be a fearsome competitor in all realms of human endeavor.
Mm-hmm. Have there been some of your beliefs or convictions that have been challenged through the experiences that you've had, particularly in the last, recently?
Well, people challenge me often. And what a lot of people don't understand is that I will never adopt the thinking of somebody who is sad, and I will never adopt the thinking of somebody who is less competitive than I am, or less successful than I am. If someone comes along and goes, Andrew, you are wrong, the way you see the world is wrong, but they are suffering from an affliction, why would I adopt a single iota of what they say? So it's kind of funny when I talk about depression, the number of people who defend depression. Depression's ruined my life, it's super real, and I lost my wife, and my life is over, and I want to kill myself, it's real. Like, surely you should like my worldview. If depression's so terrible and it's destroyed your entire existence, you should be listening to me tell you it's not real. But instead they're defending it and sticking up for it, which I find very interesting. So that's the first thing. In regards to whether I have had any of my convictions challenged, it's kind of amazing. Maybe it's just a semantics trick, and maybe it's that simple. Maybe it's as simple as saying, I feel a little bit depressed today, but I am not a depressed person, and I cannot become depressive. I'm not going to have depression. Maybe it's just a semantics trip, and by saying that alone, I understand that it's a temporary state of mind, which I can alter and I can affect. And I've never struggled with long-term depression or long-term negative thoughts because I don't believe in that mental model. I think that your mind, like I said, it's software, it's programmed in, and they say inside the Matrix or in every single video game, there are boundaries and there are limits. There are certain things you can and can't do. And I don't believe my mind can be put in a state of permanent negativity. I don't believe in that. I don't think it's possible, so it just doesn't happen. I like the idea that I can rely on myself to fix myself.
Well, you have a coach. Is that a crutch?
No, it's not, because he's teaching me something.
What's the difference?
That's fine, but like if I had an affliction, I would like to be my own doctor. And I think with your mind, you can do a lot of it yourself. And I think if you have a very strict framework in how you measure how successful you are as a human, and I do it through competence and achievement, I say, which mindset do I need to achieve as much as I can possibly achieve? Right. And I can measure that in real time. I can measure that in literally dollars and world championship title belts. I can literally measure the success. I'll say, okay, well then this is the mindset I need to have to be as successful as possible. Anything that's deviating me away from that needs to be addressed and concerned and dealt with, and I can do that myself. And I think the fear that, if it's fear that's waking me up from nightmares now, it's just because I understand there's a very big apparatus, a very big enemy which I cannot destroy and I cannot beat coming to get me. So I do think that wakes me up. I think the fear is healthy. I think I'd be stupid to not be afraid. But I don't necessarily want the fear to go away because I have no problems feeling bad.
Well, it's not about going away. It's coming into deeper relationship with it, and understanding there's fear that's happening in real time, but there's also fear that may be in your psyche somewhere, in your body, that's connected to your history, and that may need to be resolved, because otherwise you're projecting things out that you may not be seeing reality totally clearly. That's the thing, right? Like, is there a way that you're not seeing things perfectly clearly?
Well, then we go back to what I just said about perhaps that's true, but if I measure myself purely on competence and purely on achievement, whatever I think and whatever I'm doing is obviously fantastic. So I'm very happy with the mindset I have. And then we go into the argument, which is a level deeper, is am I supposed to be happy? Am I supposed to feel good?
No, it's not happy.
No, of course, but this is what I don't understand about people, especially men in the world today. Why are they so worried about being afraid? Why are they so worried about, I was afraid every time I fought.
Yeah.
I fought anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I don't let fear guide what I'm gonna do. I do what I'm supposed to do regardless of how I feel. So I don't see anything wrong with feeling fearful. I don't see anything wrong with feeling stressed or under pressure or anxious. All these things men are trying to get rid of. And I talk about men specifically. I gender this because I'm a man. I don't know how it feels to be a woman. But all these things that people are trying very hard to get rid of from their brains, I don't see why they need to leave. I will argue the point that if I feel anxious and pressured and stressed and fearful, I will get more done than if I was happy. I think if I was happy, I'd just be hedonistic and just wasting my time. I think that you get a whole bunch done with these negative connotations and negative emotions, and I think that life is suffering and pain, and you're here to go through it, and the sooner you get used to the taste, the more successful you're gonna be. I have no interest in trying to change the flavor, my friend. The flavor of life is pain, and I will eat all of it. And it doesn't matter if they put me back in jail or not. I'm not sitting there going, how can I be happy in jail? I will sit in jail and say, yes, this sucks, it's supposed to suck. Yes, I'm not enjoying this. Yes, I'm anxious and paranoid. And yes, that guy might stab me. And yes, I can't sleep and I miss my family. And this is what's supposed to happen to me. And this is how I become the best man I can possibly be. And I'm gonna succeed regardless.